People often believe that life changes through big decisions, big achievements, or dramatic events. But sometimes, the greatest transformations begin with something so small that we ignore it. One moment of awareness, one moment of honesty, one moment of courage can make a big positive change. There was a man named Ethan, who believed he had everything, yet felt he was losing himself. Ethan was 36, living in a bustling city. To everyone around him, he seemed perfect. He had a good job, stable income, friends who admired him, and a life that appeared balanced. But inside, Ethan was slowly breaking. Each day, he woke tired, his chest heavy with anxiety, his mind spinning with endless tasks. Every night he went to bed feeling drained, unable to escape the noise in his head. And every morning, he woke already exhausted, as if the world had already taken more than he could give. It wasn't one single problem that caused his suffering. It was the accumulation of countless invisible pressures: fear of failure, fear of disappointing others, fear of not being enough. He spent his life solving everyone else's problems while ignoring the quiet voice inside him that said, "I need a pause. I need to breathe. I need to see myself." One evening, after yet another grueling day, he walked home through crowded streets, passing cars, voices, and streetlights, all moving at a pace that made his head spin. When he finally entered his apartment, he collapsed onto the couch. And for the first time in years, he admitted to himself a simple truth: "I'm exhausted, truly exhausted." It was a small confession, almost invisible, but it opened something inside him. That night, his younger sister, Lily, sent him a message: "Ethan, I'm worried. You haven't sounded like yourself lately. Will you come visit this weekend?" Normally, he would have ignored it, claimed to be busy, found excuses. But something inside him stirred. Without hesitation, he agreed. The next morning, Ethan drove 3 hours to Lily's countryside home. The city noise faded behind him, replaced by rolling green hills, fresh air, and a quiet that felt almost alive. When he arrived, he noticed the silence immediately, not the empty loneliness he had known, but a grounding peace that made him exhale without even thinking. Lily greeted him with a hug but did not ask questions. She handed him a cup of tea and led him to a quiet field, where an old oak tree stood sentinel over a small wooden bench. A lake glimmered in the distance, birds glided through the sky, and a soft breeze whispered through the grass. "This is where I come when my thoughts get heavy," Lily said. "Sit here for a while. No phone, no music, just you." Ethan sat a day. At first, his mind raced. "What am I doing here? I don't have time for this. I need to get back to work." But slowly, as he breathed, his thoughts slowed. The wind through the branches, the ripple of the lake, the distant mountains all reminded him of something he had forgotten: himself. Tears slid down his cheeks, not of sadness, but of release, tears that had been waiting for years to fall. When Lily returned, she sat beside him. "Sometimes strength," she said softly, "is choosing to pause. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit you are tired." Those words entered Ethan's heart and stayed there. He spent the weekend at the farm, watching the sunrise, walking through fields, and sitting under the oak tree. Slowly, he began to realize that life isn't about rushing, proving, or performing. Life is about clarity. Life is about balance. Life is about knowing who you are when all the noise fades. The lessons, guidance, and the truths that Ethan discovered are lessons that can strengthen your mind, lift your spirit, and help you live with purpose and clarity. First, awareness is everything. Every human mind is filled with chatter, doubt, fear, and worry. Most people move through life unconsciously, reacting to events, words, and circumstances as if they were powerless. But the first step toward strength is noticing your own mind. Watch your thoughts without judgment. Observe how negative self-talk creeps in, how fear holds you back, how comparison steals your joy. This simple act of awareness is the foundation of mental strength. It is the moment you step out of autopilot and begin to live intentionally. When you are aware of your thoughts, you gain control over them. You can choose which thoughts to nourish and which to let go. You can decide when to act and when to pause. Remember, your mind is a garden. If you plant fear, doubt, and anger, you will harvest anxiety and unhappiness. If you plant courage, patience, and focus, you will harvest strength and peace. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to work harder or longer. Discipline is about training the mind to follow intention rather than impulse. Strength is built not only in moments of triumph, but in small, consistent acts. Waking early, pausing before reacting, breathing when you feel anger, focusing on one task at a time. Mental discipline allows you to face challenges without panic, to endure hardship without breaking, and to move forward even when the world resists. You must also understand that struggle is a teacher. Pain is not a punishment, it is a signal. It tells you where you are weak, where you are avoiding truth, where growth is needed. Every time you feel fear, anxiety, or frustration, do not run. Do not numb it. Observe it. Understand it. Learn from it. Those who run from struggle only prolong their suffering. Those who embrace it with awareness gain resilience, confidence, and wisdom. Guard your energy carefully. The world is filled with distractions, noise, and people who drain more than they give. Not everyone deserves your attention, your effort, or your emotional energy. Learn to say no. Learn to prioritize your inner peace over temporary approval. Protect your mind as you would your body. Your energy is finite, and how you use it determines the quality of your life. Do not fear solitude. The greatest minds, the most fulfilled souls, have spent time alone with themselves. In solitude, you meet your own thoughts without distraction. You confront your fears, desires, and truths. You discover clarity, creativity, and inner strength. Many people fear being alone because it forces them to face themselves. But if you embrace solitude, it becomes a sanctuary, a place where you recharge, reflect, and reconnect with your purpose. Always act with intention. Words, actions, and choices carry power far beyond the moment. Speaking without thought, reacting without awareness, and moving without purpose leads to regret and wasted energy. Speak only when necessary, act only when meaningful, and live according to your values, not according to the noise of the world. This is the secret of influence, respect, and lasting impact. Failure is not your enemy. Fear of failure keeps more people trapped than failure itself. Every setback, every mistake, every rejection is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to grow stronger. Do not cling to shame. Do not fear judgment. Treat failure as a guide, a stepping stone toward mastery. The mind that embraces learning rather than fearing loss becomes unshakable. Patience is not passive. It is an active power. Life unfolds in patterns. Success, understanding, and inner peace are rarely instant. When you rush, you create chaos and stress. When you cultivate patience, you allow growth to happen naturally. Every challenge has its season. Every skill has its process. Trust the timing of life, but do not wait idly. Use the time to prepare, to strengthen, to learn. Self-awareness, discipline, struggle, solitude, intentional action, failure, Patience, these are not abstract ideas. They are daily practices. They are small, repeated decisions that accumulate into strength. They are the foundation of a mind that cannot be shaken by circumstance, that can endure hardship, that can act wisely even in chaos. Take care of your thoughts. Your mind is your most precious resource. What you feed it through words, actions, media, habits will shape your reality. Protect it. Nourish it. Challenge it. Train it. Fill it with courage, kindness, gratitude, and clarity. A strong mind sees obstacles not as threats, but as opportunities. A weak mind sees obstacles as the end of the road. The difference lies in how you cultivate your inner world. Your body mirrors your mind. Strengthening the mind requires care for the body, nutrition, rest, exercise, and breathing. Never underestimate the power of energy alignment. When your body is drained, the mind becomes clouded. When the body is strong, the mind operates with clarity and resilience. Remember, external success is temporary. Recognition, wealth, and status can fade, but inner strength, peace, and clarity last forever. A mind trained in self-awareness, resilience, and intentional living cannot be shaken by external chaos. It remains calm, focused, and aligned with purpose. Life is unpredictable. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will change. Challenges will rise. But if you have cultivated your mind, nurtured your awareness, and practiced patience, you will remain unshaken. The external world may fluctuate, but the inner world can remain steady. Every day, take time for reflection. Sit quietly. Observe your thoughts. Write them down. Notice patterns. Question assumptions. Learn from the small experiences of life, not just the big ones. Wisdom accumulates slowly, quietly, like the shaping of a river over years. Be kind to yourself. Inner strength does not mean relentless toughness. It means understanding your limitations, accepting your humanity, and moving forward with compassion. Forgive yourself for past mistakes. Honor your growth. Celebrate small victories. Each step forward, no matter how small, strengthens the mind and heart. Help others, but do not lose yourself in helping. The strongest people are those who give from abundance, not from depletion. You cannot pour from an empty cup. By nurturing yourself first, you ensure that your actions benefit both you and the world. Finally, remember this: the mind is your ultimate kingdom. What happens outside matters far less than how you respond within. Train it, guard it, strengthen it, fill it with clarity, courage, and purpose. A trained mind is freedom. A trained mind is happiness. A trained mind is power. Ethan returned from the farm carrying these truths within him. His life did not change magically overnight. Challenges remained. Work piled up. Responsibilities persisted. Yet he was different. He walked calmly, acted intentionally, spoke with meaning, and rested without guilt. Slowly, the world aligned with his inner strength. Others noticed his presence, his clarity, his calmness. And most importantly, Ethan finally understood what it means to live, not to survive, not to rush, not to chase, but to stand strong within oneself, fully aware, fully alive, and fully present. The world might reward speed, but life rewards wisdom. People chase external success, but true fulfillment comes from inner mastery. You cannot control the chaos outside, but you can command your mind, your focus, your energy, your intentions. Build your inner world first, and the outer world will follow. Stand firm. Be aware. Act with purpose. Pause when needed. Breathe. Reflect. And above all, nurture your mind, for it is the source of everything you truly seek.